You probably read the title of this video and you're thinking, what is this guy even talking about? There's no way it would even help that much or something. You're just sitting down all day. Well, apart from the fact that eating good is just for health in general and you should do it regardless, eating well and eating the right things at the right time can actually definitely impact the way you play in your everyday practice and especially tournaments. So obviously whatever you're going to be eating is obviously going to be like the fuel that your body runs off, including your brain. So obviously it's going to affect how you play because your brain is a big impact of how good it's running compared to how good you're playing and performing. So why don't you keep an eye on what you eat? Also guys, make sure you like actually watch the end of this really short video, because like at the end portion of this video there's like a really important tip that I don't think you would have heard anywhere else, which is like the backbone of why I made this video. Okay, so first of all, one of the biggest impacts that eating healthy could do for you is testosterone. So basically testosterone, as you know, is like a hormone, and it'll basically make you more energetic, more competitive, all that type of stuff, which is very useful for Fortnite because you're being competitive and you need to be on your feet, really energetic at all times. And yeah, obviously having a higher competitive drive is going to help you so much, or just literally in anything you're trying to make in life. And also eating healthy will also give you many other health benefits for your brain, and these include sleep. And like I've talked about before in my videos, you should remember that I talked about how sleep is so important for your gameplay. And then just general increased energy, which is obviously going to be useful, and a better mood, which is so useful because I always remember like your mood determines how much you like try and practice and stuff so much. There's many other mental benefits that's gonna come along with it as well, but those are just some of the few important ones. But you may be asking me now, but what foods do I eat for these notable improvements? Well, like I've said before, you should always be striving to live a life that's like almost identical, as close as possible as you can to what humans like used to do. So like in this diet type of example, you should obviously be thinking about what people used to eat, which would be like way less unprocessed food, basically just vegetables and meat. And that's good because obviously like the human body is made to eat that stuff, so it's obviously going to process it well. But yeah, like as much as that's good, obviously it's going to be so hard to eat like that in today's world. But if you can't like do it perfectly 100% right now, just make sure you're leaning towards and constantly improving and just trying to make your diet as close to as it should be. And then over time, you'll just get better and better at it and get it closer and closer. Like everything in life just comes down to like progressively doing more and more in a certain skill or thing you're trying to do. So yeah, I'd say just eat like people used to, like just meat, vegetables, grains, just all the whole food. That's like the least processed possible. So you just get things that are basically just ingredients, if you know what I mean. If you find it hard to eat like that, then just like try get it as close as possible. Now this tip is actually insane. This is like the tip that I was like deciding to make this video over. So I used to play with this guy like ages ago, like maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and we played heaps of tournaments together, and he always said that he actually like hardly ate, or ate like really light food, like just yogurt and fruit like the whole day before a tournament. And I was just brushed off and I just didn't think anything of it. I didn't really believe it, and it's starting to make sense to me now because I've seen people talk about how they like don't eat in like the first half of the day, and then in that time they like just do all their hard work that requires heaps of focus, and they say it helps so much, and then they just eat after that, which obviously probably wouldn't be a good idea if you're playing a tournament in the afternoon, because if you don't eat the whole day then you're gonna feel terrible and probably get a headache. But what you can do with that is you can decide to not eat much, or eat like really light food that doesn't like take much energy to digest that day. And what I mean by this is like just try to minimize like the amount of carbs and like amount of food you're eating like before an important tournament, because I think what happens, don't quote me on this, but your body probably takes like so much energy digesting all that food and the carbs, like because it takes so long to digest that and so much energy, like your body is using so much energy, which makes you feel sluggish and makes your brain not function as good as it could. Like I'm sure you've felt like this before, like after eating like a massive meal with like heaps of carbs maybe, for example, and then afterwards you just feel like doing nothing except just lying down. So yeah, I'd say like on a day of like just an important tournament, because you don't want to just be doing this every day before scrims, because you're probably going to find it pretty hard to eat a lot, especially if you're like trying to bulk up for something, then you're not going to do this every day. But like before important tournaments, I think you should definitely do this. Just eat like really light for the whole day, just like yogurt, fruit, or even smoothies if you don't add anything really heavy to them, and like fat or something. Just mainly focus on not eating much before a tournament, and if you do eat something, then think consciously if it would be easy to digest.